The melting pot, rest in peace. That's the focus of tonight's angle. Which is a better approach? Putting America first and Americans first, or putting ethnic grievance first? Well, if you choose the former option, you already know whose policies are really making life more affordable.
We have more investment in our country than any country in history. We're over $18 trillion as of this moment, and we're going to be maybe at 20 or 21 trillion by the time I finish up my first year. If you look at affordability, which they campaigned on, they lied because they talked about, oh, prices are up. No, no, prices are down under the Trump administration, and they're down substantially. Energy prices are down by 30, 35, 40%. Gasoline is way down. And the other big thing is inflation is way down.
On all fronts, the president is doing everything he can to drive costs down and opportunities up. But if this doesn't somehow compute for you, I don't know, you're either a product of a bad education, or you're suffering from TDS, or you think money grows on trees, maybe. But many of those same folks believe that, wow, it's great that the old Democrat dinosaurs are almost extinct. Pelosi did her best to hang on, but she couldn't ward off the socialist vultures, and Schumer's days are numbered as well. That's cause for celebration, right? Well, the new left is amassing power, and they're holding on to power. That's a means to an end for them, because their goal is to dismantle the so-called systems of oppression they think stymie true progress.
Guys, it's Sunday. I've already said this so many times. Please sign up to Canvas.
Hey, everybody. What's up? Hello, everyone. It's been a minute. How is everybody?
But behind that little folksy TikTok outreach of theirs is a constant stream of bitterness. They hate the America that elected Donald Trump, and they want that America punished into submission. So this is why AOC, Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, now Zohra Mamdani, spend most of their time planting seeds of division, which requires catering, of course, to ethnic, sexual, and cultural factions. Their affordability pitch may seem to be universal and sweet, but it's packaged largely for non-native-born Americans who we know now were instrumental to Mamdani's victory.
This is a city for all of us. This is a city where all of us belong. I would be the first Muslim mayor in New York City's history. And it would be an illustration of the fact that anyone, no matter where they're from, no matter their faith, no matter which borough, that they too could lead this city.
Dan ka digesa, Boshado, Isku, Duban. Whether you come from Mogadishu, Getaway, Hargeisa, Bosaso, Medoa, or Kismayo, Minneapolis is your city. You are a vital part of the fabric that makes our city strong, diverse, and united.
Assimilation is a four-letter word for them. Yeah, in Zohra Mamdani's New York, you don't assimilate, you agitate. And likewise in Minneapolis, Detroit, LA, everywhere there's a concentration of newer immigrants and refugees. Same deal. We've slid into becoming what Teddy Roosevelt warned of, basically a polyglot boarding house. He warned against that. The experiment of multiculturalism is seen in the violent pro-Palestinian protests. It's seen at universities offering degrees in various ethnic studies, which traffic in anger. And the idea that the American melting pot was beautiful, that idea, that's gone. Remember, that metaphor traces back to the 1700s, and it was supposed to capture how immigrants could come to our shores from varying ethnic groups and nationalities and then meld together to become uniquely American.
It's fitting to leave one final thought, an observation about a country which I love. It was stated best in a letter I received not long ago. A man wrote me and said, "You can go to live in France, but you cannot become a Frenchman. You can go to live in Germany or Turkey or Japan, but you cannot become a German, a Turk, or Japanese. But anyone from any corner of the earth can come to live in America and become an American."
Now, that idea was unconventional, to say the least, because it was an acknowledgement that obsessing over tribal identity was very limiting and even dangerous for a nation to survive and thrive. What it needed was a push for unity, unity of purpose, and a people with a common bedrock of values. Now, the melting pot meant you spoke English in public, you taught your children to be respectful of our traditions, and you taught them to be patriotic to their core. You memorized the national anthem. You attended Memorial Day parades. You knew what the 4th was really all about. Now, among my mom's family, who emigrated from Poland, becoming an American was a privilege. They considered it a deep blessing. It certainly wasn't an invitation for resentment and bitterness. That's how most immigrants are and were. But for today's Democrats who traffic in recriminations, the message is always the same. If someone else has something here in America that you don't have and that you want, it needs to be taken from them. Just blame the corrupt capitalist system and promise a new paradise for the proletariat. It's the language of revolutionaries.
If tonight teaches us anything, it is that convention has held us back. We have bowed at the altar of caution, and we have paid a mighty price. Too many working people cannot recognize themselves in our party. And too many among us have turned to the right for answers to why they've been left behind.
So you're pandering to circles of grievance. Socialists, always make these grandiose promises, but they know they can't and they won't deliver on them. They're all giveaways to the multicultural crowd.
Together, New York, we're going to freeze the... Together, New York, we're going to make buses fast and... Together, New York, we're going to deliver universal...
But the truth is, we've seen this movie, and we know how it ends. With less unity, with less prosperity, less safety, and certainly with less freedom. Socialism, progressivism, neo-Bolshevism, whatever you want to call it, it's always a scam. The pandering is merely a cover to promote collectivism, where success is punished and dependency is expected. Today at the White House, Viktor Orban, the PM of Hungary, and President Trump discussed the perils of mass migration and the resistance that Orban gets in fighting it. To the socialists in Europe and here, the goal of preserving a nation-state is considered anathema.
In Hungary, the number of illegal migration is like that, zero. If somebody would like to come to Hungary, first he should ask for that. If you give the permission, they can step in. Nobody can step on the territory of Hungary without having a permission from the Hungarian authorities. We are under sanctions, financial sanctions of European Union, because we don't let the illegal migrations to come to Hungary.
If you look at Europe, they've made tremendous mistakes on immigration. It's really hurting them very badly. I happen to think he was right, because their whole fabric has changed. I mean, you go to some of the countries, they're unrecognizable now because of what they've done. And Hungary is very recognizable.
So despite relentless criticism from the globalists, Donald Trump, he's never stopped warning about the dangers of mass illegal immigration. In America, if the melting pot melts down completely, everyone's going to get burned, except, of course, the elites speaking in foreign tongues or with phony accents, as they set the rules for the fools. And that's the angle.
Choo-choo. Democrats just boarded the Commie Express.
I endorsed Mayor-elect Mamdani myself.
Sure.
I congratulate him on his victory back in the primary, and I've endorsed him in the general election.
But do you think your leader was...
I'm all on board.
Lefties stuffed Pelosi on a one-way charter back to Napa. And now they're all buying one-way tickets on the commie train. No one's missing Nance, though. Finally, something we can all agree on. Trump said we finally got rid of Nancy's stench.
I was happy to see that a tremendous liability to this country, a woman that made herself rich in this country, Nancy Pelosi, has quit, and she'll be out of here pretty soon. And that I consider that to be a great asset for America, getting her out.
Now that Pelosi's retiring to the villages, Democrats are hitching their wagons to Zoran. Hakeem's hitchhiking in a sombrero, and Schumer's tied to the tracks, getting run over.
Chuck Schumer was afraid to. This is now going to be the third time Chuck Schumer has been booed at a Democratic event I've been at in 48 hours.
It's the Brooklyn Bolshevik Revolution, and the Democrat royal family better get ready for the guillotine.
We got to get rid of the gerontocracy within the party. Down with the seniority structure that we have.
Everyone over 70 is dead weight, and they're getting thrown overboard. And if you were born in a foreign country, you get to ride in the front.
Do you have any plans to retire?
Sure. I have plans to retire.
Now?
And when that time comes, my daughters, I have 3 of them, I meet with them. It will not be done without that family consultation.
These lifelong politicians see the writing on the wall. A 34-year-old communist born in Uganda who wants to legalize prostitution and defund the police gets elected as mayor of New York City. They know this isn't your daddy's Democrat Party anymore. Axios says the party's in the middle of a generational war. The commies are telling the old guard to take their cues from Pelosi and make this their last term, or at least grow a pair.
Have some balls, like run a campaign. Tell us what your campaign is about. Don't be a fascist and be able to talk.
Democrats always danced around being communist. Finally, one of them was like, yeah, I'm a communist. And he won. And now they're all like, we should just say what we think too. Now Democrats want to run mini Mamdanis everywhere. They're even sending Hakeem to commie finishing school.
He has been a master, and frankly, he could do a master class for all Democrats on communication, whether you're talking about speaking with passion and heart and just talking to the working class.
The party at JFK is dead. This isn't even the party of Barack Obama. It's the commie Mamdani party, and he's planting the hammer and sickle, boom, right down.
If tonight teaches us anything, it is that convention has held us back. We have bowed at the altar of caution, and we have paid a mighty price. We will leave mediocrity in our past. No longer will we have to open a history book for proof that Democrats can dare to be great.
Is communism what's been holding the Democrat Party back from being great? I always thought it was common sense and drag queen story hour. Well, nothing's holding Mamdani back. After he won on Tuesday, he went where he feels more comfortable, another country. Zoran's on the beach in Puerto Rico, which is beautiful. I love Puerto Rico. He probably needs a break after thumping Cuomo. He's attending a conference that's hosting a toes-in-the-sand beachfront party. Is it hypocritical for a communist to be getting massages at luxury spas in the tropics, while the New Yorkers he says he's fighting for can't make rent? Should he be enjoying an ooh-la-la body massage or a ginger wasabi yin body wrap by a male masseuse? And now that we're on that topic, should a man get a massage from another man? Clay Travis says yes. Or is this a well-deserved vacation after a tough campaign? We also hear the hotel offers Pilates. It's a combo of yoga and Pilates. How limber should the commie be on inauguration? Or will he be too sore to fight the war on capitalism? Are commie Mamdani's voters jealous he's drinking pina coladas at the pool while they're yelling about affordability?
I think the average, Ivy League grad voting for this mayor is highly annoyed that their education is not that valuable, and the person down the street who knows how to drill for oil and gas who's moved to Texas has a more valuable profession. And I think that annoys the out of these people.
He's right. Every revolution starts with a forgotten base. Democrats shut down pipelines and told the workers, learn how to code. Liberals laughed, remember? But guess what? Now they wish they knew how to code, because progressive New Yorkers with PhDs can't even get a call back. Who made New York City unlivable? Not Trump. He didn't pour 2 million migrants into the housing market. He didn't shut down power plants. He didn't block new home construction. He didn't tell you to take out $200,000 in debt to get a degree in DEI. And he definitely didn't spend trillions of dollars and jack up inflation. Mamdani voters should be mad at Biden and Adams and de Blasio. But if Democrats aren't the answer and Republicans are fascists, then you got to go with the commie. But Barack Hussein says, calm down.
Tuesday was nice, but we've got a lot of work to do. Yeah, we have differences, and yes, there are fights that are going to have to be fought, but that deep down, there is something core in us that we have in common that is extraordinary.
Barack saying, sometimes families fight, and that's okay. We're still getting together for Thanksgiving. But this Thanksgiving scares me because the Clintons are joining forces with the communists to pack the court.
I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. A Democrat is going to be elected in 2028. You know that. I know that. It's going to be a Democratic House. It's going to be a Democratic Senate. They're going to recommend that the number of Supreme Court justices go from 9 to 13. That's going to happen, people. That's going to happen to you.
Carville's got some liquid courage. One shot of Mamdani, and he's letting it all hang out. Democrats aren't beating around the bush anymore. They're not hiding their beliefs. They're telling us, yeah, we're going to tax white neighborhoods, and yeah, price controls, hundo P. The trans congressman is downright giddy they let a commie in. And he's saying, come one, come all.
It goes both ways. A big tent is bisexual. It goes to the left and the right. And that starts with us being kind to one another, being respectful to one another, and being welcoming to one another.
Thanksgiving dinner is going to get messy. They might not even have any food on the table. It's day gazillion of the Schumer shutdown. Food stamps are drying up. People are going to go hangry before the holidays. Jon Stewart says Tuesday was big, but Democrats will probably screw it up.
I think the Democrats are still a mess. I truly believe they're a mess just because there is what this shows to me is, again, there is this underlying potential energy within the United States of America that is much larger than I think any of us could have imagined. And channeling that energy directionally will be the challenge for whoever wants to harness it. I still don't believe they're doing that.
And the Democrats say they're fighting for you, but they're flying to Puerto Rico and won't pay the military. Flights are grounded. Their own voters who work for the government aren't getting paid. But Democrats are voting to pay themselves, just not anybody else. Yeah, they won a few races in some blue states, and now they're feeling cocky.
I think that there is no reason to surrender now, every reason to stand firm.
They're shutting down the government, not to hurt they're trying to hurt Trump. They're not trying to help you. They're not doing it for the people. They're doing it for the power.
If we surrender without having gotten anything, and we cause a lot of folks in this country who had started to believe in the Democratic Party to retreat again, I worry that it will be hard to sort of get them back up off the mat in time for next fall's election cycle.
Sources tell Primetime that Democrats in the Senate already starting to cave. Moderate Democrats are getting anxious about flight cancellations and soldiers not getting checks. And we already have 3 Senate Democrats voting to open. We just need 5 more. Schumer only shut down the government to prove he was tough to the commie wing. Well, the commie wing just won. And all these Senate Democrats, especially the older ones, have targets on their back. This isn't a game of chicken with Trump and Schumer. This is a game of chicken with Schumer and the commies. The Republican strategy is working. Just hold the line. If they give in now and hand Democrats what they want, Republicans will get extorted year after year. Let the commies extort Schumer, not the GOP.
Okay, so ding dong, you fill in the rest.
I will not be seeking re-election to Congress. With a grateful heart, I look forward to my final year of service as your proud representative. San Francisco is the greatest city on earth with the most extraordinary people on earth, and a place that I will always believe is heaven on earth. Thank you, San Francisco, for trusting me to be your voice in Congress.
Well, give Drunky credit. She survived it all. The upheaval of the 1980s, the Pendleton Act of the 1880s, unflattering depictions of her in the media, and also in cave paintings in rural France. Yeah, she's old. She's been in Congress so long, her office has 2 water fountains. She's going to retire in 2027, which raises a key question. What happens to us? What happens to this show? What are we going to do without this? The Dems were melting down like Pelosi's face on a hot day. Nancy Pelosi was so enraged by Trump's victory, her eyebrows moved to Canada. With Xi proposing that humans could live up to 150 years old, or perhaps even older. The border was made as tight as Nancy Pelosi's face. It's so hot, Nancy Pelosi had to put on her backup face. James Carville said Trump deserves some credit for the Gaza peace deal. That's pretty brave of him, especially with Nancy Pelosi standing behind him the entire time. So R.I.P. Pelosi jokes. I hope you like jokes about Rashida Tlaib offering Joy Behar mustache rides. I guess you do. True, she's been great for entertainment, but lousy for the country. Remember when all of us were locked down, she got her hair done at a salon?
I take responsibility for trusting the word of a neighborhood salon that I've been to over the years many times, and that when they said, well, we're able to accommodate people one person at a time, and that we can set up that time, I trusted that. As it turns out, it was a setup. So I take responsibility for falling for a setup.
Oh, a setup. No. Leaving a cheesy gordita crunch in a bear trap outside Joy Behar's dressing room is a setup. The only thing set up was her appointment for new eyebrows. And last year, she tried to spray Febreze on Biden's rotting presidency.
Such a consequential president of the United States, a Mount Rushmore kind of president of the United States. You got Teddy Roosevelt up there, and he's wonderful. I don't say take him down, but you can add Biden.
Yeah. Look, the only reason for adding Biden to Mount Rushmore is that he's already petrified. But it's not like she was much better. Toward the end, she was becoming as unhinged as Joy Behar's jaws at a steakhouse. That's 2.
Why did you refuse the National Guard on January 6th?
Shut up. I did not refuse the National Guard. The president didn't send it. Why are you coming here with Republican talking points as if you're a serious journalist?
All right. But it's not a talking point when you admitted you should have called the National Guard, which was caught on tape by a camera crew following her for a documentary, possibly one about the joys of sleeping upside down. Of course, on her way out, she had to bring up Trump. Is he just a vile creature?
He's just a vile creature. The worst thing on the face of the earth. But anyway.
You think he's the worst thing on the face of the earth?
I do, yeah. I do.
The worst thing on the face of the earth. She's obviously never had to share an Uber with Kilmeade. But don't worry, Nance, the feeling's mutual.
I think she's an evil woman. I'm glad she's retiring. I think she did the country a great service by retiring. I think she was a tremendous liability for the country. I thought she was an evil woman who did a poor job, who cost the country a lot in damages and in reputation. I thought she was terrible.
Ugh, that guy's less filtered than a Mexican water fountain. Now, we got to hand it to her. Pelosi did make history, but it wasn't in politics. It was in the stock market. As a member of Congress over the past decade, she's gotten a return of 816% from her investments and beat the S&P 500 by 559 points. She's so good at picking stocks, retail investors use her like an index fund. There's literally a Pelosi tracker where thousands of people copy every trade her husband makes. And last year, it saw gains of 54%, double that of the S&P. She got so filthy rich while her city drowned in drugs, crime, and homelessness. Yeah, the greatest city on earth, San Francisco, went from the Golden City to a 48-square-mile restroom, a city with an app that tracks human street poop. I'm surprised Nancy didn't invest in hazmat suits. So here's a question. What happens to her stock prowess when she leaves? What if those skills were to disappear shortly after she's no longer close to information that impacts the market? Well, it would tell us something we already knew, that Democrats don't get into power after they got rich, like, say, Trump. They get into power to get rich. The rewards don't come from serving the people. They result from the illusion that they're serving the people. It was a great grift, and I got to admire it. Talk about a rich career. It's a shame it only paid off for her.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.